Hello! I have been very excited all day to come here and share with you how to create your personalised wellbeing plan. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that as you're interested in this topic, you are committed to your well-being. But maybe you're at a point where you've tried lots of different things. Maybe you tried kind of a mainstream approach or lots of different diets, exercises, all sorts of manner of things, and nothing seems to kind of work, or you maybe you end up with injuries, or you lose motivation, or for some reason it's just not right for you. Well, the thing is, my passion is personalised well-being, and I'm going to tell you why it's really important, and then I'm going to share with you my blueprint that I've created to help you think about your well-being. So here we go. So you as a human are completely unique. Your physiology is unique to anyone else. Everything that your body and mind has experienced to this day is very different to me, to everybody else, to your neighbours, to the person, the people around you. We use our body in different ways. We have different jobs. We have different things that we're good at and bad at. And the everything that you've done so far with your body and your mind is the sort of sum of how you are today. So wherever you find yourself, whatever level of well-being you want to sort of, judge yourself at, it's as a result of the way you've used and moved your body, what we've fed into the system, what we've, how we've treated ourselves. It's kind of a result of everything. So it kind of makes sense that, kind of off the shelf, off the peg kind of solutions aren't going to work for everybody. And I'm kind of talking specifically about following, maybe it's like a restrictive diet or counting calories, or, specific, you must eat this and therefore you will receive this particular transformation. Maybe it's that, or maybe you followed a prescribed exercise program and it might have worked to a certain point, but then maybe you've had injuries. All of these very prescriptive, very kind of en masse solutions, kind of promising you a transformation, they do work for some people, but not everybody, and not people who, like you, are unique and want something more bespoke. So I want to talk to you more about personalisation. So when I'm talking about personalisation, I'm also talking about seeing our system holistically. So considering yourself as a whole system, whole body and mind. So rather than thinking about, treating specific issues as like a spot treatment type approach, seeing, everything that's happening to us all part of one system that needs to find balance. So, if you're experiencing pain in your lower back, rather than just treating it as a lower back issue and maybe doing some exercises around there, putting some pain-killing gel on there or something, and very much isolating that area, we need to think about, why is the back hurting? Why have we got to this stage where it's giving me some pain? What else am I doing in my life? Am I eating well for inflammation in the body, for example? What else can I do? So personalisation equals a holistic whole body and mind approach, but it's also about being proactive. So you're here because you are proactive. You've joined me to sort of learn more about how you can think about your own well-being. And that's what I'm going to share with you in terms of what I've created. So what this isn't is kind of a list of things for you to do and for you to try. What it is a framework for you to design your health, your well-being, very specifically to your needs and your goals. So it might be that you're wanting to maintain where you are now. Maybe you're in a phase where you're wanting to rebuild and realign and kind of develop better well-being. You want to improve how you're feeling now. But of course, all your circumstances that make up this special person that's you need to be considered. You know, do you have specific ongoing injuries? Do you have chronic illnesses? Do you have a job that doesn't allow you to just go out and exercise whenever you want to? You've got family commitments, you've got all this life commitments. So we really do need to think about your well-being in the context of your whole life and your unique set of circumstances. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get straight into my Clare values. Okay, so this honestly came to me one morning. I woke up, and after kind of spending the evening previously studying my menopause transition course, which I've just completed, I woke up and my brain is most active in the morning. Like as soon as I wake up, my brain is like thinking of ideas and things like that. My body isn't necessarily that alert, but my brain switches on most of the time very early on in the morning. And this is when I suddenly came up with this idea. And I think what I like to do is find easy ways for you to remember, but easy ways to kind of structure your well-being as well. So this is what we've got. So the Clare values, it's an acrostic kind of poem. So if you're familiar with that sort of format. So I've used every letter of my name, Clare, to guide you in and giving you those kind of key areas to think about. So here we go. So the first one is C for Clare, C for Clare, obviously. And this is all about calm. So C is for calm. Now, this is really important because we're talking about our nervous system. So we're thinking about all of the things that we need to do in order to find calm. So find calm within our mind and our body. When our nervous system spends more time in that kind of state of relaxation, and that we're not in fight and flight, it benefits us. It benefits our hormone production, it benefits our mood, and it helps us to heal. So if we are suffering with certain things, it's really important to find time for calm, and also developing that stress resistance, so resilience rather. So being able to be better prepared in times of stress. So having a practice that, or thinking about all of those things under that category of calm, so the C for Clare for calm, how this works is then you think about all of the things that you need, that you currently do, that you can kind of help your calm, you achieve that calm. So once I've gone through all the letters, what I'm going to do is just show you how to kind of use this as an audit tool, a bit like a SWOT analysis kind of thing. So the next one is L, and this is all about longevity. So when I'm talking about longevity, I'm talking about your movement health. So thinking about what you can include in your personalised plan that is going to keep your body moving. So it's going to keep your muscles and your joints working. So your joints working and working in all of the ways that they need to work and you want them to work, but also your muscles are supporting your skeleton so that you can continue to feel that vitality. So yeah, so we're talking about longevity. Okay, so that's the L. The A, now this is, I like this one, and this is anti-inflammatory. Because when we approach kind of post 40, as we kind of go into our perimenopausal years and beyond, our body naturally, as women, as females, goes into more of an inflammation state. That's the kind of response, the influx of different hormones and the aging process. So what we need to be doing is thinking about our nutrition in terms of anti-inflammatory foods. So instead of thinking about diets and what to cut out and what to restrict, if we think about tackling anti-inflammatory and what you can put into your system that's going to be anti-inflammatory, that's going to give you that property, that protective property, that is going to help. So we start to think about our nutrition rather than our diet, because I think about when I think about diet, I tend to associate lots of negative things. When we think about nutrition, we think about what we can feed ourselves, what we can add to our plate rather than taking away. So anti-inflammatory, that might involve you doing a little bit of research, but in terms of what foods are anti-inflammatory. But as a bit of a sort of tip, if you're eating a wide variety of brightly coloured food, so eating the rainbow as it's been called before, that's a really good start. So eating whole foods, many plants in the diet, trying to get as much sort of good quality wholesome foods into the diet, then you're pretty much you're going to be okay with anti-inflammatory foods. But a quick bit of research on that is where you need to go on that one. So that's our A. Now our R for the next letter is all about regularity, and I am talking specifically about these practices. So if we think about all of these aspects being daily movement habits or daily health habits, it's really important to think about having different practices that you're doing regularly. So it could be daily, it could be weekly, could be monthly. It doesn't have to be a specific prescribed, must do something every single day, because again, this is your personal well-being. What's good for you is going to be different for me. So, we all need different things. We all need to rest differently at different times. Some of us need to exercise more than others. Some of us need to eat more than others, all of that. So if you think about regularity in terms of being regular in your movements, in your practices, so that we don't just do a bit of stretching and then 2 weeks later we've forgotten and we haven't done any stretching, we haven't thought about our movements or our diet. We need that regularity. We need to build up those daily habits and keep our well-being at the top of our agenda, which I know from speaking to lots of people is probably one of the the key challenges, is keeping ourselves top priority. And our final one, the E in Clare, stands for our energy levels. Now, if we focus on our energy levels, we're talking about specifically sleep and mood. So we're thinking about sleep routine, sleep hygiene, but also what do we need to add in to our routines or our practices to make sure that our energy is at the right level that we want it to be at. And that's not about just always being high energy. That's about having, resting when we need to, and then increasing our energy when we need to, because sometimes we feel really sluggish and sometimes there's a need to actually, get the blood flowing, do something active and move the muscles, move the bones around. And then other times there's a need for rest, to not be on the go all of the time. And this is the thing, we live in such a busy world. A lot of us we're at this very sort of, if busy's up here, we're like on this line of busy all the time, and we're never coming down from that line and coming into rest. We find it difficult to rest and to relax. So energy isn't just about high level of energy, it's about energy levels, which is really, really important. So how you can work with this, and this is a bit of homework for you to do after this video, is to get a piece of paper. I don't know whether that's going to look mirrored or not, but it's basically CLARE, my Clare blueprint. So I'm going to talk you through how to create this or how to use this in an audit sort of fashion. So if you're used to, if you've got a job where you work strategically, then you'll probably be familiar with like a SWOT analysis. It's that kind of thing. That's what we're going to do. If that's not familiar to you, I'm still going to talk you through it, so don't worry. So what I want you to do is get a piece of paper and put some columns. And then for each area, so first we're going to look at the C for calm, and we're going to think about calm. So we're going to write C here, and then we can also write calm, just to remind ourselves. And then what I want you to do is think about all of the things that you currently do. This could be daily, weekly, monthly, that help towards your calm. So help you stay calm, keep you calm, bring you back into calm, and help support your nervous system. So I want you to think about all the things you currently do. Now, if you're sort of thinking, I don't think I do anything at the moment, then I want you to use the space underneath to think about all the things you could do. So this is about kind of looking at those opportunities and thinking, well, actually, or things that you could do or enjoy doing but perhaps don't do. You kind of know in your mind that you could do. So for example, you know, if you have a meditation app on your phone but you don't use it, you could pop it there. That's an option. Maybe walking in nature is something that you find really calming. Pop that there. You might be doing it already, which is great, but if you're not, there's no judgment here. Pop it here, because eventually we can kind of move it up into the plan that you are doing daily. So at the bottom of the piece of paper, you've got all your options and all your ideas, because what you'll find as well, you know a lot more about yourself than anybody else. So when you spend some time thinking about these things for yourself, you've got a lot of these tools here. You know these tools that work for you. It's just a matter of taking the time to think them through. Now we've got L for longevity, and I want you to write here all of the things at the moment you do that keep your body moving well, that are purposeful and maybe mindful as well, but they are helping your joints, your movement health, your joint health, your muscles stay strong. So that could be anything. Doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be a sport or a specific class. Can be, but it might be that you dance around the kitchen very regularly to the radio or to your favourite songs. Pop that there, because that's great. That's purposeful movement that you're doing daily. Maybe you just do some stretches that you know about. Maybe you do go to a favourite yoga class, or you go to the gym. So whatever you do there, write them down, audit it, thinking about what you already do weekly, monthly, daily. And then here, if you're thinking, oh no, there's not much on here, this is the area at the bottom to start thinking about what you can actually, what you could do, what you could easily do as well. So, walking could be one to put on there, swimming, whatever it is you enjoy. Now remember, this is your plan, so don't pop on here going to body combat classes and then think, oh gosh, I hate doing that, I'm not doing that, that's rubbish. So really do think about what things you enjoy doing. If you're not sporty, don't put sports down here, it's not going to happen. It's personalised. That's the whole point. It's got to be something that you love. And it might be something new that you want to try. So in the anti-inflammatory, I think this is going to need some research from you. Unless you happen to be a nutritionist, or you may, there's so many books out there and podcasts out there, you might already be, this might be your area of kind of passion, your food. Right in here, and I don't have to write a big list of all of the foods that you're eating for anti-inflammatory, but maybe if you can think about what's good in your sort of nutrition in your current eating plan that you know is good for you, that's nourishing you, that you eat on purpose to help you. So for example, I know that tofu is good it's a phytoestrogen. So when I'm at certain times in my cycle, I eat more tofu because it helps with my kind of estrogen levels. So there's things that you know that you eat, if that helps. So you'll know that maybe when you're getting a cold, you add more garlic to your diet. Maybe you do that. Maybe you don't. And again, so we put in here what we know about ourselves that we're doing well at. And then here, we're going to pop at the bottom any areas that you're, thinking maybe you need to improve on. Maybe, your nutrition is something that you could actually spend some time working on as part of your well-being plan. So that might be the thing that needs balancing. So under here, you could just pop here, need to Google anti-inflammatory foods, need to buy a book about it, need to think about that a bit more, pop it there. Eventually, it becomes part of your plan. So regular and regularity. Now here, this is where I want you to think about what you're doing here and how often you're doing things. Now you can be as detailed as you want, because we're all different. Some of us like to be really detailed and write down, I like 2 times gym sessions a week, I like 5 times walk sessions every day, I do 1 swim, whatever. Or you can just write down a little few different ideas of must like to stretch daily, like to do a daily meditation, like to do a weekly swim. But write down here what you're doing, so you can kind of think about any areas that are missing. So you might sort of spend some time on here and go, oh, do you know what? When I'm working, which is 4 days a week, I don't do anything, but I do it all at the weekend. So maybe that's an area to sort of pop down here and think about doing more things daily. So that just gets you thinking about how you use and move your body every day. Because if you are, for example, sitting down for 8 hours, 5 days a week, or for any long periods of time, your body will adapt to the positions that you're sitting in the most, or standing in the most, or using the most. But if you were able to add in some variety in terms of your movement, some stretches in between sitting down, you're going to improve your well-being. So adding in some good healthy movement habits would be much better than just going to the gym a couple of times a week after having sat down for ages, if that makes sense. So it's that kind of thing about little and often. Often works really effectively for well-being, and then anything else on top is just an added bonus. If you want to exercise, then go to exercise classes and gyms and stuff like that. But really, little and often in terms of daily habits is the thing that we want to think about. And then here, energy levels. So here, I want you to think about your sleep and how your sleep is. Is it good? Is it bad? Could it be worked on? Do you have a sleep routine? You might have one. You might, without even realising, maybe you always read before bed. Maybe you always wear your, eye masks and earphones, and it's really important for you to have a dark room. Maybe you have a good sleeping practice and you sleep really well. If you're in perimenopause, there's a high chance that you might not be, or the percentage of people not sleeping well is very high. So if that's you, then you're not alone. But that's something definitely to think about here, and developing your sleep routine and your sleep hygiene to create great energy. But also think about here, adding, are you resting enough? Are you getting to the end of the day and feeling totally depleted because you're because you've done too much, you've expended too much energy, and maybe your mind is struggling as well, because you've filled it with so much that at the end of the day you feel frazzled. How could you pop down here some ideas to improve these energy levels? Okay, so this becomes your audit. This becomes your personalised plan that you've thought about all these different areas, and you've covered all of the key things that are going to help you feel good without having to, follow a certain plan, without me having to tell you exactly what to do, because I think to a certain extent you know what works for you. And actually, when it comes to well-being, it is a quest. It's an ongoing quest. So you can kind of treat your well-being as a bit of an experiment or a bit of a hobby, and try things. If you have one column where maybe your longevity, maybe your movement health could do with a bit of work, try different things. Try going out walking, try increasing the mileage that you're walking. If you fancy doing a bit of swimming, do that. Try different things, different classes. Be prepared to let them go if they don't work for you. I've spent, many years trying different things, realizing that some things don't work for me. Some things, make me ache, give me, muscle pains and things like that. And you just have to let them go. What's important is not getting caught up with other people's goals. So we see all the time, on our Instagram or on our Facebook channels, people running, people doing all these challenges. And what we can think is, oh, well, I must do that. I'll do that. That looks like a good thing. And it's good for them. Might not be good for you. It might be. You don't know. We don't know until we try it. So anything you fancy doing, try it. Don't be afraid to try things. Similarly in the sense of researching different foods to eat, listening to different podcasts for different health advice. There's so much out there that the reason I wanted to give you this blueprint was so that you've got a structure, a bit of a framework, because I think if we're not careful, we can get a bit overwhelmed. We can kind of think, I don't know what to work on. I know I need to do something. I've got XY over here telling me I need to do strength training. I've got this person over here telling me I need to be plant-based. But what do I really need? What does my health really need? So I hope that's helped you. Do let me know. Do get in touch. Work on your audit. And if you've got any specific questions, let me know. And if you want to chat further and you want some personal support, again, get in touch. So yeah, have a good evening. Enjoy your Clare values, and I will see you very soon.